गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय.
Welcome to your favorite Indian show, Aussie Indian.
This is a very special episode of Aussie Indian where we are commemorating the life and achievements of the late Richie Benaud, and I am joined by our producer Raj, who's had the privilege of speaking to him. And we're at a very appropriate location to film Aussie Indian. We're at the old King's Oval where Richie Benaud has actually played. In our first segment, we'll bring you highlights of some very special interviews that Raj has done with Richie Benaud. In our second segment, we'll bring you some interviews with cricketing greats who are also talking about him. And in our last segment, we've got messages from various organisers of charity events happening in and around Sydney. But now it's time for our first segment, and Raj, you've had the privilege of speaking to Richie Benaud. Can you tell us a bit more about his achievements in his lifetime?
Well, Richie Benaud is an iconic cricketer, and it is, as you said, it's here he started his cricketing career. And this is used to be known as Central Cumberland before it became Parramatta District Cricket Club. And Richie played all his cricket here before he played for the state, and then go on to become one of the greatest cricketers to play for Australia. Not only he played, he is also held in very high esteem in media circles as well. As we all know, Channel 9, if you turn on, it is Richie Benaud's voice, which we always used to hear. We will be missing it. And of course, Richie Benaud has passed on those skills to many of the young people, young cricketers, young media personalities, and so on and so forth. And as you said, I had the privilege of catching up with the great Richie in the Parramatta Leagues Club when Parramatta District Cricket Club have their Sporting Legends Luncheon. And it's absolutely fantastic. I still remember first time I met Richie Benaud, he was standing there like what we are doing here, and then I was all nervous because I used to hang his photo in my study when I was very young, and I thought I should tell the truth to the great man. And I told Richie, I'm very nervous basically because I used to be one of your biggest fans. I used to hang your photo in the study, and now I'm standing here and talking to you. And he put his hand on my shoulder like this and said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to bite you. Come and stand here. I'm going to tell you where you stand, where the mic has to be," and so on and so forth. So it was really very interesting interviews I had with Richie. I think it's a good time to take a look at the life and achievements of Richie Benaud, and in that context, why not we take a look at some of the highlights of those interviews. Hello and welcome to Aussie Indian, and I have with me one of the legends of Australian cricket, in fact the world cricket, Richie Benaud. Richie, welcome to Aussie Indian.
Thank you. Very nice to talk to you again.
Thank you very much. In fact, if you remember, we met a year back at the same place. I'm sure you are happy to come back here to celebrate your old club's achievements.
Yes, it's always nice to come back. Central Cumberland played a great part in my life, in fact in the life of the whole of the Benaud family, so it's always nice to get back.
Of course. And Richie, if I may ask you, the loss of the Ashes series must have come as a big shock for the Australian cricket system. Do you think that they are addressing properly the test one-day spot?
Oh, I don't. There's no problem about Australia being beaten in an Ashes series. That's been going on for a long time. The first three Ashes series I ever played in, Australia lost.
Right.
1953, 1954-5, and 1956. Then we started to win, but losing is just losing.
Well, some of the players who retired, the likes of Glenn McGrath and Shane Warne in the recent times, and also Adam Gilchrist, Matthew Hayden in batting, and Justin Langer. Do you think that Australia has been able to fill those gaps ably in the recent times?
How could you possibly fill the gaps of Shane Warne, Adam Gilchrist and Glenn McGrath? Can't be done.
Yes.
Now there were in all 15 players who dropped out within a space of about 12 or 13 months, and that is a big loss, and almost when you think of the quality of the players, almost impossible to contemplate how you would do it. They've done it to a certain extent, and there were some injuries as well. And now you've got more injuries as we're moving into the series against West Indies and Pakistan.
Right.
There are 25 Australian players who are injured. Not all Test players,
Yes.
but players who might be challenging for Test positions. So it shows that there is a little bit of a problem. More credit then to Ricky Ponting for the terrific job he's done in lifting the Australian team through that difficult time. I wouldn't want to be captain if I'd lost Warren,
Yes.
McGrath and Gilchrist.
Yes, that's one of the questions I had. In fact, there is a lot of criticism about Ricky Ponting's captaincy. Of course, everyone knows he's the greatest batsman in the contemporary cricket, but his captaincy, especially some of those bowling changes he made in India and also in the Ashes series, came under the microscope. What do you think of that?
Captains are always criticised. I copped my share of criticism all the way through the time I was captain. That was from 1958 to 1963. Criticism, everyone is entitled to criticise, so that's what they go ahead and do. And Ponting, it's his job to look straight ahead and try to do the best he can for the team.
Yes. Richie, if you look at the Australian team now, some of the players like Mike Hussey is over 35, Ricky Ponting himself, and of course Brett Lee has been nursing these injury problems and so on and so forth. So there are a lot of other players who are shortly retiring. Do you think that we have got this young crop of players who are coming in who can be trained to fill those gaps?
Well, there are always young players around. Right. The problem they have is that they don't have the opportunity to get into the side when these top players are there.
Yes.
Exactly the same situation prevailed when we were going through from the end of the Invincibles tour, 1948, and then through to blooding the youngsters. For example, I made my Test debut with Colin McDonald and George Toms at the end of the 51-2 series against West Indies.
Yes.
Then the captain, Lindsay Hassett, knew that he didn't have the quality there, that we weren't the quality that he needed. And the same thing applied when we went to England in 1953. Hassett was captain, but he had three young all-rounders.
Yes.
He had Ron Archer and Alan Davidson and myself. We thought we were quite reasonable players, but
Right.
Hassett knew that there were big gaps to fill and they weren't being filled immediately. And that always happens. You have the players who retire, the experienced players and the older players, and everyone says, oh, you know, life's not going to be any good. But it gives the young players the opportunity. It gave Davidson and myself the opportunity to open the bowling, or Davo to open the bowling and me to be there as the spinner.
Right.
Suddenly, instead of just being support bowlers, we were the top line bowlers when we went to South Africa in 1957-8.
Of course.
And it showed up there a lot of young players sort of hovering away and not given the opportunity until the older players retire. So it's up to them to impress the selectors.
Now, if you come to the pace attack now, the current Australian team, Brett Lee is away because of injury, and Stuart Clark is out of the team, and we have a young crop of bowlers. Dougie Bollinger has come in, and of course Mitchell Johnson has proved to be a fairly strong weapon in the armoury. What about the other untested pace bowlers? Do you think that they make a good combination?
Well, Peter Siddle jumped out of nowhere.
Yes.
I'd seen him bowl on television. He strikes me as being the archetypal Victorian pace bowler,
Right.
who runs up and hits the deck hard and never gives you an inch.
Yes.
But no one ever thought of playing him in a test side.
Yes.
So they're all there. It's just a matter of them improving. Now, Cameron White's another one from Victoria who has improved his batting out of sight.
Yes.
And he's a very sensible cricketer as well.
Yes.
Uses his brain. And there are all sorts of other fellows who will grow in stature
Yes.
with the other players retired.
Yes. Well, coming to the spinning department in the post-Vaughan era of Australian cricket, we are seeing Nathan Horrocks, Jason Frazier was tested and he was dropped from the side, and he's been bowling well in this season, I heard. And now we have Nathan Horrocks. Are they giving enough time for some of these spinners to settle down in the side and perform?
Well, when I had dinner with Bill O'Reilly in 1953 and he gave me 6 points, he'd been worried about my bowling. He was acting as a pressman on the tour. he'd been worried about my bowling, and the first thing he said to me was, "Stop trying to take a wicket every ball." Now that might sound strange,
Yes.
but you've got to plan ahead, and he explained to me what I had to do. So from that talk to 1957, when I had a very good tour of South Africa and took more wickets than any other bowler ever in the season, from that moment, O'Reilly in 53 had said, "It'll take you 4 years to get it right." Well, when I said the same thing to Shane Warne, told him what O'Reilly had said to me, I said it'll take you 4 years. We did in 2. He's such a great bowler.
Yeah.
Well, Raj, those were some really interesting highlights. And after the break, we'll bring you some interviews with cricketing greats talking about the late Richie. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to a very special episode of Aussie Indian, where we are commemorating the life and achievements of the late Richie Benaud, and we are at a very special location. As you can see, the New South Wales Police are versing the subcontinent teams in a game of cricket. What's this all about, Raj?
Yeah, it is a fantastic initiative, I must say. New South Wales Police, as you rightly mentioned, are their cricket team is playing, as you can see, a cricket match with the subcontinent teams, that is teams from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and Nepal. And we are seeing the current game going on the field. And the special guest here was Brett Lee. And the cricketing great Brett Lee ended up talking to me about Richie Benaud, because he recognized the fact that this is where Richie started his career, cricketing career.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that interview.
Welcome to Aussie Indian, and we are here at the Old Kings Oval witnessing a very unique cricket match between the New South Wales Police team and the combined subcontinent team, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan and India. That's a fantastic tournament. I've got Superintendent Gavin Dengate and the cricket great Brett Lee and Mohit Kumar, one of the organisers. Gentlemen, welcome to Aussie Indian.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Brett, first to you. We are here at Old Kings Oval, and this is where the great Richie Benaud played his club cricket, and later on to, of course, become one of the icons of cricket. And what are your thoughts about the life and achievement of Richie Benaud?
Yeah, well, look, it's funny when you hear the words Richie Benaud. You hear his name spoken in the street. A lot of people know Richie Benaud as a commentator, but he was a fantastic Australian cricketer. 248 Test wickets. He was a great leader, a great captain, and got the respect off his sort of fellow players. Then when he went into broadcasting and to be we always say the captain of the Channel 9 cricket commentary team, he's just a wonderful human being, great commentator, and be sorely missed.
Mm-hmm. Many of the experts put him in the same league as Don Bradman's, and his contribution, they say that Richie Benaud's contribution is equal to that of Don Bradman. What would you say? Yeah,
definitely. Look, you can't always go on stats. I know that Sir Donald Bradman had such a great batting average, and was a fantastic player. It's very hard to compare eras as well. But Richie Benaud is definitely right up there. It's, certainly from his leadership skills, but what he taught me in the commentary box, and he's such a gentleman, had time for everyone, beautiful human being. So look, it's obviously a sad time. He hadn't been well over the sort of past 18 months, but it's obviously very, very sad.
Mm-hmm. Gavin, if I may ask you, what motivated you to put on this event?
Well, the international students come out here to New South Wales, of which there's over 200,000. And we know that they're away from home. A lot of them don't have family or friends here. But as the police force, our job is to protect them, to make them feel at home and to look after them should they have problems. We want to make sure we're able to connect with them. So today's a great example. We have police officers in the teams playing with the students, getting to know them. So what we're hoping is if they know a few of us, they'll treat us all the same. Okay? If they've got a problem, they'll come and talk to us. And that's what it's about. It's about getting the students to trust the cops. And if they can trust the police, then their time here when they may have an issue will be a lot more easier to deal with. That was what really motivated us, to connect not only with us but also try and get the community out here connecting with the students as well.
Well, we had a bit of a sad story recently. One of the Indian women was attacked and killed in very close to this place, and obviously the subcontinent community would be worried about the security and safety. We don't know whether they are targeted towards a particular nationality. What do you think is the police doing in order to ensure safety and security of all communities?
Yeah, look, we're really connecting with the community. That's the main thing. And we know in terms of whole communities, it's important to us to work with the community. To work with the community in terms of safety, education, but the reality of what's happening out there too. That was a tragic incident. And today was great because we saw all the kids from all the different countries come together for a 1 minute silence for Ms. Kumar. So that showed that the communities do connect, regardless of where you're from, we're one community. And particularly in Australia, on the multicultural side of the place we're at, everyone showed that by this morning how we can come together to look after each other. And that's the big thing. We are one community, and us police need to connect with the community to make sure everyone's safe.
Brett, we all know about your Indian connections, and you are of course also acting in An Indian, the movie which is now being produced here in Sydney. How is that going?
Yeah, it's going great. We finished filming a few weeks ago. We had to pick up a few different scenes. Before the cricket season started, I did most of the movie. Then obviously went and played cricket and commentated throughout the summer. And then when that finished, I went and picked up a few different scenes that I had to do. But that's all done and dusted now, and comes out in June or July. So actually looking forward to see how it turns out. I'm hoping it's going to be all right. I'm praying it's going to be okay.
I know, I heard a few words of Hindi you speak from time to time, but how much more you have learned after this movie?
Yeah, well, look, there's not a lot of Hindi spoken in the movie in terms of me talking as my character, because it's an Australian-made movie, and that's what a lot of people don't realise, that it's not a Bollywood movie. It's an Australian-made film with Indian flavour. We've been so well backed up. It's the first film out of the Australia Indian Film Fund, privately funded, so we had a great team backing us, stellar cast and crew. Work with the lovely Tanishta Chatterjee, who's an absolute legend of the industry, and she's not the Bollywood actress. She's a proper Indian actress. She's famous for Brick Lane in 2008 over in England, and I learned a lot off her. So that was really nice to work with her.
Many more Bollywood movies coming up for Brett Lee?
I want to see how the first one goes. I want to see, we'll wait till June and July comes out, and we'll see how it goes, and then maybe after that, we'll have to look at the second or the third.
Well, we hope you found that very interesting, and that was part one of that interview. And what do we have to expect in part two, Raj?
Yes, part two, we are going to bring a message from Superintendent Gavin Dengate, who is actually spearheading this initiative, the cricket match, and also he's going to give us a message for the subcontinent community. Let us look out for that.
Definitely, those are all coming up in our forthcoming episodes, but now we're going to take a short break, but after that we'll bring you some messages of the organisers of various events happening in Sydney. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You are watching your favourite Indian television show. It is Aussie Indian, and we're talking about some of the fantastic charity events happening in Sydney, in particular Vision 2020, which is organising the Vision Walk 2015 happening at Parramatta Park on the 3rd of May, and our producer Raj actually got to speak to some of the organisers of this event. What do they have to say?
Well, as you rightly pointed out, Vision 2020 is a fantastic organisation. They're doing great work. They're based in Sydney, but they're doing this work around the world, and mainly in India, I should say. And this Vision Walk 2015, which is going to happen at Parramatta Park, is something which all the viewers have to support, because this is a fantastic event. And I ended up talking to Neeraj Gupta, who is one of the organisers of this event. Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, let's check that out.
I'm Neeraj, and this is my wife Kanchan. We have been involved with Vision 2020 for just over 2.5 years now. The reason why we got involved with Vision 2020 is because of two primary reasons. Number one, it was 100% voluntary organization that is very transparent in its operations, and that devotes 100% of the contributions without any admin fees, without any profits being taken out for any other reason. And that's what really pushed us towards becoming a life member, which we are very proud of.
Vision 2020 has been set up in 2003, and it's been operating past 12 years. And the projects it has covered are
things like offering assistance for providing ambulances for hospitals in need, And the most important one that comes to mind is setting up an eye camp in Jharkhand last year that pretty much operates free of cost operations for people in need, or for over hundreds of people, providing them the most important sense of human being, which is the eyesight. Primary reason why my wife and I got involved with Vision 2020 was only because of the 100% transparency that is there within the organization with the members that are involved. And the reason why we got involved is there is absolutely zero admin fee, there is absolutely zero profit generation.
Vision 2020 is organizing Vision Walk 2015 this year, which will be held at Parramatta Park, and the registration will open at around 9:30 a.m. on Sunday 3rd of May 2015. Now the purpose of this event is to raise as much money as possible, which will be donated and sent towards building of a weaving and a production facility for 300 widows who lost their husbands in 2013 floods
in the Kedarnath Valley in Jharkhand.
Yeah, so that we can support the livelihood of these women and their children.
The people who are proceeding towards becoming a part of this Vision Walk 2015 at Parramatta Park can park at the car park that is at close to the O'Connell Street at Parramatta Park, and of course there will be a registration desk set right up there for people to register at 9:30 a.m. onwards, and anything and everything that needs to be known is truly available on our website, which is vision2020.org.au, or by all means you're more than welcome to give me a call anytime. My number is 0401 186 234.
We would like all our viewers to show full participation by coming to this event of Vision Walk 2015. Just like me and Neeraj, we are into it with our heart and soul, and I'm sure you guys will love this event. It will be a family event full of fun, and there are certain activities like yoga camp been set up there,
Bollywood dance classes,
and who doesn't like to walk? I believe all our viewers, you sitting right there, you should just come along with us for a great cause and raise as much as money we can towards this lovely, lovely cause.
And again, repeating myself, is each and every one of you, the more people you can get there on the day, the better it is. The more people we can get to pull their sleeves up, the better it is. It's all going towards a cause for where people will thank you for the rest of their lives. So please come in abundance, please donate with your hearts, and we will make it a success.
There's another fantastic cultural event happening in Sydney. It's called the Dreaming Damsel. What's this event all about, Raj?
Ravi Verma is a very famous Indian painter, and they're going to display his paintings in this. And of course this is happening once again in Parramatta, not too far from where we are standing at the Hambledon Cottage. And of course this is something which we should really look forward to, because it's going to be fantastic with all the dance and color and singing and everything else. Yeah,
it definitely sounds amazing, and again all the details are on your screen. Well, those were our upcoming events, some very exciting cultural events to look forward to. The first one, Vision Walk 2015, is happening on the 3rd of May at Parramatta Park, and the second one, the Dreaming Damsel, is happening on the 16th and the 17th of May. Two very exciting events to look forward to. Hope you penciled in those dates. We've also got some very interesting stuff coming up in our forthcoming episodes. Raj, who do we have to look forward to?
Well, we saw that part one of that interview with Brett Lee and Superintendent Gavin Dengate and Mohit Kumar, who is one of the organizers of this event. So we'll bring you part two of that. That's something to watch out for, because we're going to get some important messages for the community. And of course, you have already mentioned about those charity events, the Vision Walk 2015, Vision 2020 Walk 2015, and also the other art event, which is Dreaming Damsel. So that's something to look forward to.
Definitely. We also have highlights of community events, interesting interviews, and of course we'll bring back Indian Newsweek and all the goss from Bollywood. But that is all we have for the show today. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to have your company next week. Bye for now.
It's quite nice to see that. I'm sure he enjoys the modern day cricketer jumping around as well.
Hi there. Just enjoying some ice Milo. Marvellous what a difference Milo makes to keep you in top form.
He's revered, you know. He's possibly, apart from Dame Edna Everett, the most famous Australian of them all.
I mean, he's probably made a greater contribution than Don Bradman, Shane Warne, the Dennis Lewis, all the great players, because he's been the perfect foil for any young child, any commentator, any cricketer. He never put a foot wrong, Richie, on or off the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the Australian Cricket Hall of Fame, clean shaven and all, I'm sure he hasn't been drinking Milo, Richie Benaud.